everybody, I hope you are doing really well. This is gonna be my third video, and what I want to show you today is how can you access to the Transport Canada website, and how can you read the requirements or get the information to get your aircraft maintenance engineer license here in Canada. What happens is that sometimes it's not easy, sometimes it's just difficult. You start to read the information, you start to read the website, but it's confusing, and in the end you start to be frustrated about that. So the idea today is to show you how can you enter to the website and what are the most important information that, from my point of view, you should take into consideration to start to work on your AME license. Some of this information is just not too important. If you start to read everything, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be frustrating, it's gonna be really difficult. You need to read what is crucial to get your license. Okay guys, so the first thing that we are gonna put here is Transport Canada. We can just click here in this link. Then we have different kind of things here under Transport Canada: aviation, rail transportation, consultations. Okay, back. Now we need to click here and go to aviation. Then we will have here in the right side of the screen the most requested. So Canadian Aviation Regulations, Civil Aviation Reference Center, online payment system, and okay, this is not important right now for us. What do we need right now is the licensing for aircraft maintenance engineers, AME, obtaining and renewing an AME license, finding and approve AME training organization. So we are gonna click here. Okay, so right now we are in the licensing for aircraft maintenance engineers, AME. Here we have three options. The first one is obtaining your aircraft maintenance engineer license. The second one is renewing your aircraft maintenance engineer license, and the third one is approved training organizations. We don't need this information to get our AME license. So what we are gonna do is just click here. Here we have this screen. Aircraft maintenance engineer license are issued by Transport Canada to certify the performance of maintenance. Before applying for this license, applicants take basic training, get experience, and write exams. So what we are going to find in this space is the aircraft maintenance engineer license requirements. Step 1, before getting licensed as an AME. Step 2, AME basic training programs. Step 3, maintenance task skill requirement. Step 4, study and reference guide, AME exams. And step 5, submitting an application for the AME license. The intention with this video is to show to people who is a foreign aircraft mechanic, airframe and power plant, or AME, how to get or how to be licensed in Canada. So the thing is that we are experienced mechanics, or we have different kind of licenses abroad. So we want to get the aircraft maintenance engineer license in Canada. What are the steps that we should follow to get this license if I am a foreign mechanic? So we're gonna read here. For example, the important note is the AME license credential, credit card style license have changed. Okay, this is not important for us right now. Probably we need to know that the aircraft maintenance engineer licensing and training requirements are outlining the Canadian Aviation Regulations Part 4, Sec Part 3, and they are working as manuals. Okay, step 1. I consider that this part is important, and like obviously we need to consider that be at least 21 years of age, complete a Transport Canada approved AME basic training program, or one that is acceptable to Transport Canada. I was confusing about this step the first time because when they say or one that is acceptable to Transport Canada, you believe, or at least I thought, that I could convalidate or or do some kind of conversion from my local license or my airframe and power plant license to the aircraft maintenance engineer license here in Canada, but it's not possible. It's not gonna be possible to convalidate your licenses, or not your licenses, your licenses, but your education and your training as well. So you need to consider that you need to study in Canada again. No matter what, no matter if you have a European license or an airframe and power plant or a South American license, whatever is your license, you need to study here again. That is one of the most important things that you should know. In my case, and in the case of many people, they had to study here again in Canada. As far as I know, you need to accomplish with the training here, and it doesn't matter if the structure is very similar and you have all the training, you still need the Canadian regulations. The second one is get the total amount of applicable civil aviation maintenance experience. If you have more than 2 or 3 years, it will be okay. Don't worry about that. The next one is gain skills by doing a number of specific tasks. Here, it's important to notice that you have your own experience. I mean, you have accomplished some kind of experience. If you are an aircraft mechanic and you want to get your Canadian license, but sometimes, for example, in my case, I was working for more than 12 years in aviation in Colombia, in South America, and for the airline that I was working for, they had some kind of software. It was Amos. Actually, it was Amos, and they gave me the experience just generated by this software. But it's not gonna help you. You need to use the specific form that Transport Canada give you. Okay. Successfully complete the technical and regulatory exams. Okay, we will go deeper in the next videos about that, and submit an application with the correct form and all other required documentation. So I lost a lot of time trying to get my training convalidate and trying to get my experience approved by Transport Canada, but in the end, I needed to do the things that they are asking for. So there is no conversion of aircraft maintenance licenses in Canada. What does it mean is that basically you cannot get a conversion for your previous licenses in Canada, no matter what kind of licenses you have. So the thing is that you need to start again. The step 2 is AME basic training programs. The first step in becoming an AME is to do a basic training program, and here in this link we can find all the approved and acceptable AME basic training organizations currently active here in Canada. So we have some kind of information here. For example, British Columbia Institute of Technology. What do you need is 18 months experience and knowledge. Okay, so this is not so important. If you go to a university or a college, probably you are gonna spend a lot of money, but if you are already an aviation mechanic, you don't need to spend too much money doing that. So I will advise you how you can do that easier. What else? So Transport Canada must review and accept any other AME basic training programs. Okay, it can be confusing, but the thing is that you need to do training from an organization that is listed here in this link. We set out the topics that students learn in an approved AME training programs. We also have samples of basic training curriculum for maintenance, avionics, and structures. Maintenance task skill requirement. Part of the aircraft maintenance engineer application is providing proof that you have performed maintenance tasks. You must keep records to show you have done specific tasks that are important for the issuance of an AME license. And there is no formal AME logbook. However, you can use the following documents to record the tasks you have completed for the skills requirements. What is my advice right now is to use the format that they are giving you. Please use that format. Don't use other kind of format because it's gonna be difficult to be approved, or at least from my point of view, if you use the form that they are gonna give you. It's important to notice here that the licenses here in Canada are divided in two licenses. Basically, you can have, or you can get the N1 or the N2, or you can get both. But N1, generally speaking, is if you have worked on a small airplanes. It's general aviation, basically. And the N2 is if you have work in turbines. That's the point, that's the difference, that's the important. The step 4 is the study and reference guide, AME exams. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be really frustrating because when you are studying for an AME examination, you want an exact guide and a reference guide, something narrowed down, but when you go here, we are gonna click here, you're gonna see what kind of material you need to study to approve the examinations. If we go here, for example, study and reference guide, aircraft maintenance engineer examinations. Okay, this is a document that shows us how the examination applicable to the N, E, and S licensing ratings are divided. So we have here the CARS, the standards, for example, we can check here in standard practices, mathematics and physics, electricity and electronics, aircraft hardware. This is some kind of codes that are designed to understand how the examination works. But right now, that's not so important for us. On the other hand, we have here, for example, in the Appendix B, the list of suggested reference publications. So when we go there, we are gonna find what you should read in order to approve the examinations, but it's really difficult, and I don't think that somebody can read everything in detail of all these documents. So for example, we have here the AMP Mechanics General Handbook, the Power Plant Handbook, and the Airframe Handbook. Then we have the Jepsen AMP Technician General Textbook, the ASA Aviation Maintenance Technician Series, the Aircraft Basic Science, the Aircraft Inspection and Repair, Fundamentals of Helicopters Maintenance, Aircraft Radio Systems, Aircraft Check Meral. The thing is that if you have read some of these materials, you just know that just one of these books is gonna be a lot of information. Step 5, as they describe that, is submitting an application for the AME license. They give us some step-by-step process to do that. When you have completed all training and exam requirements, choose the relevant procedure to submit an aircraft maintenance engineer AME license application. So you think that if you complete all the steps that they say, now you can submit an application. I would like to talk to you about that. When I was doing that, I thought that I hacked the training because I am an aeronautical engineer and an aviation mechanic with 4 or 5 endorsements. And I thought that I could just pass my information to Transfer Canada to be approved. I mean, regarding or speaking about the training. In the end, I was asking for the detailed description of every subject during all my bachelor degree and during all my aviation technician career, and it was really crazy. In the end, I needed to translate 200 pages of information. No way, and I lost like 5 or 8 months. Email after email and after email trying to get approved my training. So please don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna be easy. So the first thing that you should consider is that you need to take your training here. The second one is the experience. If you have the experience, you have the experience. I mean, if you have worked for more than 2 or 3 years, it's gonna be okay. You just need experience in a specific way just to present your documentation to Transfer Canada. So how the process worked for me. The first thing that I needed to complete was my training in Canada. There are some, not tricks, but there are some good advices just to do that. The second one was my experience. I needed my experience in a specific way to be approved.